Hello and welcome to week 3 of Marketing 310 Personal Branding. This week we're going to go over internships and resources and LinkedIn for your personal brand. So far with starting off with internships and resources. Normally in a live class I would have the internships department come in and do a presentation for all of you explaining the importances of internships. Since we can't do this, I have actually taken the presentation and put it on Cougar Courses for you. So it's right here in your Cougar Courses, internships prep checklist, and your student intern handbook of 2019, which is probably the same thing for this year. So if you're interested in learning more about the internships department, please check out these two documents and please check them out on the CSUSM website. Highly recommend doing an internship. There's a lot available right now, even though that a lot of things are virtual. It's actually kind of nice, doing stuff virtually too. So really encourage you guys to do an internship, especially those who've not been in the workforce yet. It's a wonderful way to check out an industry you might be interested in or a career path you might be interested in. Also, it looks good on a resume and your LinkedIn. If you have any more questions on that, you can email me as well. So we're going to be going over LinkedIn today and the importance of LinkedIn, hoping that you all already at least kind of started LinkedIn. If you haven't yet, you will need to have a LinkedIn at the end of this course. For those of you that already have a LinkedIn, you're going to be improving your LinkedIn during this course. So just a quick little introduction and background on how LinkedIn started. It is actually the world's largest professional network with over 500 million users in 200 countries. It was founded in 2002 by Reid Hoffman, a Stanford graduate. It was acquired by Microsoft in 2016 for $26.2 billion. Today, there are over 60 million senior level influencers, 40 million decision makers, 10.7 million opinion leaders, and 6.8 million C-level executives on LinkedIn. I encourage you all to follow each other on LinkedIn because you never know what's going to happen after graduation. Maybe someone you're in class with might be looking to hire someone at a certain company you like, right? Say you want to work at Sony Electronics. You've always wanted to work at Sony. And then you find out later, whoa, those are two classmates of mine that got into Sony. I haven't been able to get in there yet. Trying to get an interview. So you hit those people up on LinkedIn. Hey guys, we went to school together. We were in classes together. Is there any way you can give me a soft introduction or at least get my resume on top of the stack at Sony? And you won't believe the people in your network who can help you later on. So that's the main reason staying connected. I also encourage everyone to connect with me on LinkedIn because people come to professors all the time asking, do you have a student for this? Do you have a student for that? I have an internship. I have a paid internship. I'm looking for an entry-level marketing coordinator. Do you know anyone? Is there a student you'd recommend? So please all follow me on LinkedIn. Here's my LinkedIn page, Isabella Janovic. I'm public. You can see how my LinkedIn is set up to kind of give you tips. I don't post too often on my LinkedIn, maybe just once or twice a week, but I do try to stay consistent. And I do scroll through it, a lot of good information on LinkedIn from people that I'm connected with. So student profile, because you're all students right now, the majority of you are not in a career right now, right? There may be a couple of you, I don't know exactly. But for student profiles, you'll want to write an informative profile headline. So if you look here, I don't have an informative headline on mine, I don't think. It's just, for mine, since I have a career path, it just puts the last occupation I put up on there, so Senior Experience Advisor at Cal State San Marcos. But for students, you'll want some formative profile headlines such as honor student seeking a marketing position. Pick an appropriate photo. That is very important. I don't want to see any party pics or a picture of you with sunglasses or a fuzzy low quality image. Try to find something professional. You can have a friend take it of you with an iPhone. There's so much you can do with an iPhone these days. I know in the past the Career Center on campus has offered students free professional photographs, and they offer them free business attire to wear for their photographs. So say you don't have the budget right now to purchase a suit, you can borrow one You could take your professional photos and then you give it back. But you can easily do this with an iPhone too. If you notice my profile picture, it is a professional photographer who's a friend of mine that took them. But do you recognize that background here or that background? This is on campus at Cal State San Marcos. That's the Veterans Building right there. So you don't have to go far to do this. Show off your education, your GPAs, test scores, honors, awards. If you're, part of the management society on campus and you're a leader, put all those in there. So you're in senior experience, add that in there. Claim your unique LinkedIn URL, which my LinkedIn URL, let's see if I have it in here. I don't have a screenshot of it, but in the URL it'll say Janovic, and you can actually just go onto LinkedIn to figure out how to do that. I thought I had instructions in here exactly how to do that. I'll have to look, but it's just a few steps in here to do your LinkedIn. Here we go. No, that's a different section. I'll get back to that. Fill skills and expertise with keywords. So find relevant ones in job listings that appeal to you. So say you're looking for a marketing coordinator position, you'd look up what skills they want. Maybe it's a knowledge of Adobe software, right? The Adobe suite. So you're like, okay, I want to be a marketing coordinator. In all the job postings I've seen, one of the qualifications is knowledge in the Adobe suite. So you want to make sure that you put that under your skills and expertise. So to add to your profile section, you would click on add to profile section, and that's how you edit all the different sections here. You can add accomplishments, publications, patents, courses, projects. So you want to put senior experience in here. That's a big one, guys, for those that have done that or maybe doing it right now or going to do it in the future. Update your status regularly. Mention your projects, professional books or articles, or events you're attending. Even if they're virtual events, do a post on it. It's always best to have a photo, so maybe you take a selfie of you with your virtual computer in the background that you attended this event, or you come up with a clever way of posting a photo. Again, I don't post that often, but at least it's consistent, once or twice a week. Show your connectedness, so start with university and industry groups. So you're going to want to make connections. If you see here, I have over 500 connections. And a lot of them are school connections, really. So when you're just starting out your LinkedIn, connect with your professors, advisors, mentors, classmates, co-workers if you in the working field, family members, friends, maybe your friends' parents who could be working at companies. Maybe you realize like one of your friends you never thought to ask, but their dad works at Sony Electronics and can get you an interview there. Little things like that. You got to think about opening up your network. Collect diverse recommendations. So there's a recommendation section. I have a slide on that later. Share your work. So if you write something you're proud about, maybe a blog. In this class you do have to write a blog, so make it a good blog and then you can post it later. Hey, I wrote this blog on 5 tips on how to work on your time management as a student, as a virtual student at Cal State San Marcos, or a research paper, your senior experience project. Share your knowledge, share your work, share what you're working on. So here we go. Here are the steps on how to make customizing your public profile URL. I thought I had it in here, I just wasn't sure. So you click on the Me icon at the top of your LinkedIn page, click View Profile, click Edit Public Profile and URL on the right side. Under Edit your custom URL on the right, click the Edit icon next to your public profile URL, type the last part of your new custom URL in the text box, and click Save. So those instructions right there should get you how to do that. You can also Google that information as well, and it'll pop right up. So here it is. Here's a screenshot of it. Public profile settings, edit your custom URL. Mine says Janovic. You want to keep it professional. So, first initial, last name usually works. Maybe it's your whole name, but you don't want it too long. You want to keep it a little short and sweet. So that's how you do that there. Your LinkedIn to-do list. So as you're developing your LinkedIn or as you're improving your LinkedIn, audit your profile and make a list of what you need to add or improve. Maybe you don't have any jobs on there. Maybe you don't have any education on there. So start making a list of what you can add and improve. Connect with current classmates. All of you guys in this class should be connecting with each other. Professors, admins, mentors, etc. Connect with alumni. That is a key too. People who have gone to Cal State San Marcos already. I'm actually the vice president of the MBA chapter Alumni Association, and at our alumni events, they're looking for people to hire, and they want to hire current students or recently graduating students. So when you're an alumni, make that known. Let people know, hey, I go to Cal State San Marcos, or I graduated from Cal State San Marcos. Connect with those alumni. You'll be surprised where they work too. Ask for recommendations. Research and create a list of local networking events. That's going to be a little hard right now. And add them to your calendars and register for one. Usually in this class, I make people go to a networking event. We're not going to be able to do that this semester unless I make you go to a virtual event, which I might. We'll see. But I highly recommend going to networking events when they start happening in person again. It's the best way to meet people. Yes, it's a little scary at first, but I've had great success with my students where I've actually made them go in the past for a grade, so I'm forcing them to go. And they all thanked me later. They're like, I'm so glad that you pushed me outside of my comfort zone. A lot of them went with a co-pilot, a friend, since they were a little intimidated at first, but all of them were so glad that they were forced to go to a networking event. Tips for building your LinkedIn. Contribute something of value to your target market. Would you rather see self-promotion and ads or content that is educational or entertaining, right? So think about what you're going to post. Don't just to post. Make sure it's giving some sort of value or something to do with your schoolwork or maybe something you learned. Don't assume that your connections see all your posts. So when you post an update, it appears in the feeds of select contacts for a few hours to test out their reactions to it. If there's little to no engagement with your content, it won't go much further than that. That's the unfortunate thing with any social media platform, the algorithms. So the more consistent you post and the more consistent you are with engaging in other people's posts, it'll change and help the algorithms in your favor. Create engaging content. The more reactions and comments you receive on your posts, the more people it will reach. Post original photos that includes people's faces. People love that authenticity of the face. It could be, what did I put here? Posts with photos that include faces tend to get more engagement than stock photos. Stock photos will only get you so far. And again, that's with any social media platform, not just LinkedIn. Post regularly. Now that regularly could mean different things for you. Maybe right now you have a lot of time on your hands and you can post every single day. Maybe it's just 1 or twice a week. So building a brand requires consistent effort. Posting regularly helps you stay on top of people's minds. And this has happened to me. My internship, if you remember from last week's slides or 2 weeks ago, I interned for Tony Hawk, the video production company. And years later, my boss hit me up on LinkedIn and was like, hey, I started another type of marketing company. I wanted to let you know about it if you're interested in joining the team. And I was like, wow, all these years later, because we stayed in connection on LinkedIn. Only LinkedIn. It wasn't Instagram or Facebook. It was LinkedIn. And this is someone in the skateboarding industry too. I was shocked. And for me to have that phone call conversation, at least be given an opportunity to join his new team, I didn't end up joining it. I'm too busy with all my own stuff. I got great things going on. But just having him contact me and giving me that opportunity was great. And it was through LinkedIn. Connect on a personal level, but keep it professional. So people relate to other people, not to brands. Again, be authentic, but yes, stay professional. During this time right now with COVID, you do kind of have to watch what you say. You don't want to be too controversial on your post because that could go one or two ways. So be really careful right now with what you post. And remember, LinkedIn is a professional network, so keep your audience in mind. No party pics on this one, okay, guys? Interact with others. When people engage with your posts, it boosts visibility. So when you see a post that you connect with, return the favor. Also, if someone likes or comments on your post, comment back. Keep the conversation going. Keep engaging. That's the point of it. You can become a micro influencer. You don't need to have a million connections on LinkedIn to make a big impact on your career. So if there's a subject matter that you're passionate about and you know a lot about, heck, even if it's beer, look how big the craft beer industry is just right here in San Marcos. If you know about certain ingredients on beer and you're educating and showing value, post it, like, hey, I tried this amazing beer at Stone Brewery. I got, hints of passion fruit and I don't know, the hops from blah, blah, blah. It could be anything. Showing value, passion, educating. Sharing your expertise and showing that you know something. And like, hey, that person really knows a lot about craft beer. Maybe I should bring him into my team. You never know what's going to happen. So LinkedIn connections, connection strategy. So connect with people you know and trust first. It's okay to say no to someone who wants to connect with you and you don't know them. It's totally okay to deny people or whatever. Don't feel bad that you have to accept everyone's friend requests. You don't have to do anything. You do what you want, okay? Increase your connection base, friends, family, neighbors, classmates, co-workers, networking with connections. So whenever you meet someone at a networking event, whether it's virtual or in person, connect with them on LinkedIn later. It's easier than saving a business card. Yes, it's always good to follow up with someone, emailing them, and adding them to your email list if you have a list, but connecting with LinkedIn is just so quick and easy. Create professional in-mails, making comments, sharing content, using endorsements, or LinkedIn mentions. How to meet people in a specific industry. So LinkedIn's alumni tool, groups, or advanced searching options to meet alumni or create other new connections. You can type in CSUSM alumni and it'll pop up the group. Join the group. Get to know people. See what they're talking about in the group. I don't know how engaging it is. I haven't been in that group, but that's just an example. Maybe you're looking to be in the real estate industry. Look up San Diego real estate groups. Join those groups. Start discussing with people. Maybe you'll learn new things that you don't know, right? I always tell people join the Chamber of Commerce. Again, I don't know how active San Marcos Chamber is on LinkedIn, but it doesn't hurt to join the group and to see. And maybe you take over. Maybe you're like, hey, this is not an active group. You start posting away. Start sharing what's going on in San Marcos. Once a valuable person has been identified, next work on creating an opportunity for a face-to-face meeting. So that's how you get to know people. Networking, you grab a cup of coffee and you get to know each other. We call them one-on-ones. Usually grabbing a cup of coffee is the best way to do it. Again, not that easy right now. Some people are doing Zoom one-on-ones, but that's a little weird when you haven't met the person yet. Always, when you do these face-to-face meetings, maybe someone asks you, hey, do you want to grab a cup of coffee first and get to know each other better? Always stay professional. Always listen to your gut. Sometimes there are little weirdos out there who want to meet with you face-to-face. It's always okay to say no, or you bring a business person, a colleague with you, or a student classmate with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Always meet at a public place, though, okay? Do not meet someone at their house or home office. Home office can be a key word. It could be a red flag. Coffee is safe. I always meet my clients at Old Cow Coffee. I'm there like once a week meeting people. Very safe there. And always go during office hours. Don't meet someone after hours. Don't meet someone, just be careful and be smart. If you're feeling something weird in your gut, you don't have to meet the person. It's okay to say no, guys. Informational interviews, so school assignments. An example of this was while I was in grad school, I was like kind of interested in being a marketing director for either the Humane Society or possibly Karl Strauss Brewery. The reason why I picked Karl Strauss Brewery is because it's the oldest and one of the largest local breweries. I guess it's in competition with Stone, but I just kind of liked their marketing. So I used a school assignment, and I reached out to one of the directors at Humane Society, and I said, hey, I have the school assignment, which I really did, but you could say you're writing a blog on someone. And my my assignment was to interview a director or C-suite level person and do an interview and learn about what they do all day. So I was able to go into the Humane Society for an hour. I got a tour, and I was able to interview one of the directors. And it was amazing because I got real life answers. They never say no to students, guys. These people are super busy when they're at the director level, but I'm telling you, they never say no to students. Take advantage of this time. If you're interested in working somewhere, interview them. It's a school assignment. They're not going to say no to you. So what was really cool about the Humane Society project was I wrote my paper and all that, and 3 years later I worked for a nonprofit. They were a client of mine for social media, and they had just partnered with the Humane Society, and sure enough, the person that I got to work on this project with was the person I interviewed at the Humane Society. So when we met each other, we're like, oh my gosh, we already know each other. How cool is this, right? Carl Strauss, it was really cool. I got to interview one of the head owners there, the founders of Carl Strauss. I mean, how cool is that? Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it in person. It was over a conference call, but that's totally okay. And he left me a whole bunch of beer at the front office for me to pick up for free, so that was exciting. But I wrote a whole paper on him, and what I learned about Carl Strauss that really hit me was that these owners are business first, brewers second. Where a lot of these breweries, they're brewers first, business people second, and that's one of the reasons why they kind of end up failing, because they don't know how to run a business. To be a successful brewery, you got to know both, right? So the two founders of Carl Strauss, they actually met in grad school at Stanford. So both of them went to grad school at Stanford. They're smart cookies, and that's how they started their business, and that's how they've been super successful. Sorry for the dogs barking in the background. Okay, moving forward. That was a long story, but I thought it was important, and I love giving you personal advice, real-time personal advice. So, interviews, improving interviews, career fair, and info sessions. So you always prepare for interviews by researching and connecting with companies and recruiters. Research the people you expect to meet at an interview. Get to know them, right? I always try to Google them, find out their background, and try to find a connection so that when I'm in that job interview, I'll be like, oh, so you volunteer at dog rescues. Wow, I'm a huge volunteer at dog rescues too. You try to make a connection. Maybe you find out before the interview that this person is a Cal State San Marcos alumni. Perfect. You can say, hey, I'm a Cal State San Marcos student right now. You have a connection. Follow up on LinkedIn after your phone call or meeting. Connect with them with LinkedIn. When you connect with these people on LinkedIn, though, don't just hit the connect button, okay? Connect with them and add a note. So when you hit the connect button, a window pops up and it says, would you like to add a note to this? Yes, you always want to add a note. Remind that person where you met them. Hey, I was the person I was the student you interviewed yesterday for that job. It sounds wonderful. The company sounds amazing. Just wanted to connect with you on LinkedIn, and you put your name. Just a little note so they remember you. How to impress industry contacts. Create and share content such as blog posts or articles. So if you find a really cool article and you're like, whoa, I should share this, share it on LinkedIn, add your little, your input of a couple sentences, and let people know, hey, I'm educating myself. I read this really cool article. It's got a lot of information on this particular subject. I'm going to share it with my audience. Attend industry events that you hear about on LinkedIn. Can't do that right now, but I've found a lot of cool industry events through LinkedIn. Also, Cal State San Marcos posts a lot of different type events. There's one coming up, the CLIMB event, C-L-I-M-B. It's virtual this year. It's free for students. I'm going to attend it. What's nice about virtual is that, I can be on the couch in my pajamas and no one will know, right? So here's an example of, say you're going to interview somewhere. You want to look up the person. So I just happen to pick these two people. I know them both too. And you want to see, okay, so I find out this guy, Ryan Williams, is going to be interviewing me. Do I have any connections with Ryan Williams? Yes, I do. I have 39 mutual connections. Who are those people that are connected? Hey, if they're a friend of yours, reach out to that person. Hey, I see that you're friends with Ryan Williams. I'm going to be interviewing with them next week. Is there any way you can put in a good word for me, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that. People love helping you out. And with Ryan Williams, oh, you guys went to the same school, so that's a connection you guys have. Here's another one, David Lewis. He works at, a science biotech. This one works at Palomar College. 48 mutual connections. So again, find out who those mutual connections are, see if they can put in a good word with you. It also shows the person who's interviewing you, showing that you care about the position, you're serious. You did your homework, you're researching the company, and you're researching who's going to interview you. So it just puts you on top of that list when they're deciding who to pick later. Another thing is, so you can also go to the company website. Hey, I got an interview at Viasat. You go to the company website on LinkedIn, and you can see here a lot of information on the company. You can see Rom and 4 other connections work here. Oh, okay, so I know 5 people that already work at Viasat. So you click on that, you see the 5 people that showed up. Oh, my friend Emily, I forgot she works at Viasat. Perfect. You hit up Emily, say, hey, I'm going to do an interview at Viasat. Is there any way you can put in a good word for me? Or maybe you can turn in my application for me. Some of these big companies, they would rather have a current employee refer someone on the outside. So ask the people, hey, can you refer me to this job? And that's a good way to get into. All right, so here's the basics of LinkedIn. Enjoy the rest of the week and see you next week.